pregnant, so this is the start of the second trimester vlog. And I am starting it off by solo parenting for the day. Tom has gone to a work expo in Birmingham and he's just set off. It's 6:30 in the morning and he's probably not going to be back for another 12 hours. So yeah, that's a bit daunting because we've always done everything together, we've always parented together, so this is a bit daunting for me because I do feel very, very tired. And Ted was very upset last night because he didn't nap at nursery, but it'll be fine. And I'm at work this morning, so Tom's parents are coming to look after Ted for the morning, and then I'm gonna do nap time and the afternoon and possibly bedtime, depending on what the traffic's like when Tom comes back. But yeah, that's how I'm starting off the second trimester. It's just a bit daunting, but it'll be fine. I know it'll be fine. But yeah, how I'm feeling, like I don't feel sick this morning, which is really, really nice. Like I only feel sick if I lie down for too long when I first wake up. But I've had a cereal bar, I'm having some orange juice, I've had my vitamin D for the day. I have to take a vitamin D supplement every day. And I swear that I've felt baby move. Like, it hasn't been every day, but I swear that I've been feeling little movements. But I don't know. I'm trying not to say, oh yeah, it's definitely movements, because it could be gas, it could be anything. But yeah, I'm feeling much better compared to the start of the first trimester, which is good. So I'm going to give Ted another half an hour in bed. So it's currently 6:30, so I'm going to let him go till 7. And my washing machine's just finished, so it plays a song. But yeah, I'm feeling much better compared to the start of the first trimester. I don't feel sick anymore. I still feel tired, but that's because I'm chasing after a toddler, and I think I'm always just going to be tired. But yeah, that's how the start of the second trimester's going, and I feel so much better. So I am currently 15 weeks and 2 days pregnant. I've just pulled into the parking for Boots because I'm going to start, I know it's super early, the lighting's terrible in here, sorry, but I'm going to start getting some stuff in my hospital bag because I remember being so underprepared last time. Like, I had my bag packed by like 35 weeks, but I watched the video back a couple of days ago and there's just so much stuff that I didn't use in there. And I know that Boots do a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of the, is it Frida? Like Frida Mum stuff, so like the disposable postpartum underwear, like the Perry bottles, things like that. And those are all things that I did not have at all last time. So I'm going to go into Boots and see what they've got, and then today is going to be an absolute scramble. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but basically I have my midwife appointment at 11 o'clock, and I was originally meant to be seeing the consultant at 3 o'clock, so a decent amount of space between two appointments. And I got a phone call yesterday at like 3:30 saying we've had to move your appointment to 10 because we've had to move the entire clinic to the morning rather than the afternoon. So I have got an hour, bearing in mind the consultant never really runs on time. I've got an hour to get my appointment done, drive back to the children's centre and see the midwife by 11, but I don't have my midwife's mobile number because I saw a different midwife for my booking appointment than my normal midwife. So I don't have her number or anything to let her know. So I'm going to give it till like 10:30, and if I still haven't been seen, then I'm going to ring the children's centre, because usually the midwife doesn't really run on time either. She usually runs a little bit late. I'll ring the children's centre and say I've got an appointment at this time, but I am going to be a little bit late because I'm caught up with the consultant. And I'm hoping that I can get both appointments done because then I'll have my afternoon free and I don't have to think about it. But yeah, I'm at the Boots just round the corner from Ted's nursery because it's actually closer to the hospital. So what time is it now? I think it's like 8:30. So I've got like an hour and a half to kill, but I do need to do like a pee sample and all that when I get to the hospital, and that's going to take a little bit. So I'm going to get to the hospital a bit earlier, I think, like 15 minutes earlier, just so I can get everything done I need to and chill out. But yeah, I can't believe I'm 15 weeks already, and we find out the gender next week, hopefully, because oh my god, I'm just so excited. We're having a private scan, like a private gender package next week, and I'm so excited. But yeah, that's a little update for now. I'll let you know how my appointments go and everything, but yeah, let's see what they've got in Boots. So I've literally just walked up to Boots and it's got this big sign on the door that says, due to unforeseen circumstances we are unable to open today. The one time I am free and I've got loads of time to kill. Oh my god, like all the other shops don't open for like another 20 minutes. So now I don't know what to do. The only other thing I can think of is driving down to like Felix store, but their Boots is really small compared to our, like the one here. Oh my god, that's such a pain. And I'm not going into town because like getting into town is going to be an absolute nightmare, and then to get to the hospital. Oh my god, that's so annoying. No, I don't know what to do. Because it's like a 20, well from here it's like 10-15 minutes. But then I've got to drive all the way back to the hospital. But to be honest, I could do it. I don't know what to do. But that's so annoying because the lights are on and everything, so I just assumed that they were open. They've got a massive sign on the door saying we can't open. Wow, that's a massive pain. But hey ho, there's not a lot I can do about it. I think I've got to come to the hospital next week anyways, so I might just come next week, but that means I've got like an hour and 20 to kill before my appointment. So now I don't know what to do, because I know that they won't have a lot of the stuff in the Felix store Boots. What an absolute pain in the bum. So I'm now back home. I'll go through everything I got from the shop first because I ended up just going to Sainsbury's and seeing what they had, and then I will go through what happened at my appointment, which isn't what I expected, but I'll go through that in a second. The first thing I got was some little newborn nappies. It's insane that there's 20 odd nappies in here. They're so tiny. But these are going to go in my hospital bag. It's just like, they're just so easy to just put in your bag. And hopefully we won't be in overnight this time, depending on if there's any complications or not. But yeah, they're so cute and tiny. Next thing is another tin of formula. We are stocking up on this one because we know that this one is a bit harder to find. So wherever we find it, we're picking it up. And this was the last tin on the shelf. So I am pretty glad I got this one. So this is the Kendamil from Birth One. Yeah, this is the one we're going to try. Ted had Aptamil and he got on fine with that, but we just want to give this one a go, and if they don't get on with it, then we can always just switch to another one. And the last thing is for Ted, because I can't go into a shop without getting anything for Ted, and I got him this tie-dye AC/DC shirt, which I think looks super cool. So I got this in 4 to 5 years, because he grows like a weed, and I don't think it'll be that long before he's in 4 to 5 year old. So that's everything I got from Sainsbury's today. So my appointment didn't go really as expected. I thought this was just going to be like a going over why I'm there, which was part of it. Like, they definitely went over all that and like my history and things like that. And they said, we know you're 15 weeks and we usually start at 16 weeks, but we'll do an internal ultrasound now, just so we've got a base point to work off and see how you progress over the next every couple of weeks when we scan you. And we mentioned and talked in depth about the fact I had a cervical stitch put in with my pregnancy with Ted because my cervix was shortening and opening, so they had to put the stitch in. So they did the internal ultrasound, took the measurements, and the consultant said that's normal for 15 weeks, but it's still quite short because it's usually like 16, 18, 20, etc. weeks where you start to see some proper cervical changes if there are going to be any problems. But in my head, that was enough for me to go, no, something's not right here. We got to see a little bit of baby. I got to see the heartbeat, because obviously they're there to measure the length of the cervix, not to look at baby. I can't talk. But long story short, I'm having another cervical stitch put in next week. It was partly elective, partly the consultant. We both kind of met in the middle and said it's probably a better decision, and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to then come every 2 weeks for like a month. More than that, like 8 weeks. You don't have to come up every 2 weeks. And you'll be discharged from consultant care once we know that the stitch has worked. So I already knew in my head that a stitch was going to be likely, but I didn't realise how likely, and this soon as well. I was 22 weeks with Theodore when the stitch was put in, and I'll be 16 weeks. So that's a full 6 extra weeks that I'm going to have this stitch in. And without getting TMI, because I just say things how they are, that's what these videos are for, sex is pretty much a no-go. So me and Tom we're gonna have to be sex-free until the baby's born, and then the 6 weeks after that until I'm all healed, depending on how the delivery goes. If I have a normal vaginal delivery, then about 6 weeks. It could be longer if I have a C-section. But that's how things are going, and I'm scared. I am scared, but I know what to expect. And this time Tom can come with me, which is a humongous weight lifted off my shoulders, because I know that I'm not going to be completely by myself. And I remember recovery being a little bit painful. It was painful for the first day or so, and then after that it was uncomfortable, so I need to chat with my boss about work and everything like that, because I'm going to have to miss a couple of shifts. Yeah, so on Thursday next week I've got my pre-op, which won't take too long. It's just weight and everything like that, and blood pressure, all that. And then on Friday morning, first thing is when I'm getting the stitch put in, but I will be discharged the same day. And then I saw my midwife, and I was late for that appointment because there was so much traffic. And then I was on the verge of crying because I know it's stupid. I know it's stupid to cry over, because I can't help it. I just feel so mad at my body that it seemingly can't keep a pregnancy in there without help. Like, I can't just be like every other normal person and just have a pregnancy with no intervention. And I know that I can't help it. And I know that I'm more than likely now have an incompetent cervix. And it's kind of ingrained in my head that I don't want to do this again. Me and Tom were talking about it in the car this morning. Like, it's not set in stone, but at the minute I am leaning more towards this being our last baby. And because it's a lot of emotional stress, it's a lot of physical stress, you know, taking time off work, everything like that. So, yeah. I think it's just all the emotions flooding in from last time, because it was traumatizing last time having to do all of that by myself. Sorry, my boss just rang me. But yeah, this has been a bit of a ramble. I'm just trying to take it all in and know that this isn't my fault. It's not, you know, my body's doing what it thinks it's right, and it just so happens that it's not the right thing for my body to do. Because last time I did this, I didn't have a toddler to chase after. And it's going to be really, really hard. I'm going to lose money because I've got to take time off work. And it's just too much. So I think in my head, I've kind of made my mind up that I can't do this again for the sake of my physical and my mental health. So I'm just going to I'm going to go meet Tom for lunch, and I'm probably going to burst out crying. But I know it's not my fault, and I'm trying to tell myself it's not my fault. But I need to get something to eat as well, because I'm really hungry and this baby needs some food. But yeah, that is my little update. I'm sorry I've just rambled for like 10 minutes, but yeah, I'll probably speak to you guys in a few days. So I am now 16 weeks pregnant, and tomorrow, when hopefully everything crossed, we're going to find out the gender. And I just can't believe I'm 16 weeks already, because with Ted we didn't find out until just my standard NHS 20-week scan. So it feels weird doing it a whole month early. But we're basically going to decide tomorrow whether we want to find out and tell everyone else, or we want the sonographer to like pick out confetti cannons, because we paid extra for those, and she'd pick those out for us so we wouldn't know what colour's in there. But I think we're just going to decide tomorrow. I'm leaning more towards finding out, because then we can just start getting stuff sorted. But this week is going to be a busy, busy week. So we've got me and Tom are both at work in the morning. Ted's at nursery. I'm then picking Tom up after I've finished work. We're probably going to go get something to eat, have the ultrasound appointment. And then Wednesday, luckily, Ted's at nursery and Tom's at work, but I have a lot to film. Like, I've got to film my 12 to 16 week pregnancy update and everything, and edit it and get all that done. I also need to do a monthly favourites for May, and it's nearly July. Thursday I've got my pre-op at the hospital at 11 o'clock, and then Friday I have my cervical stitch / cerclage surgery. And then Saturday is just going to be all recovery. My parents are getting here Saturday night, and then Sunday is the baby shower. So it's going to be a busy, busy week all for this little one. I have popped so much. Like, it's not just like a little bit anymore. And I have been getting some Braxton Hicks already, which is a bit strange. But I can feel where the top of my uterus is, and it's just underneath my belly button. So it's been a bit uncomfortable. Like, it's not painful, but I do kind of have to stop, because it just feels very tight and uncomfortable. Like I pulled a muscle almost, but there's no pain there. Yeah, it's so strange thinking that this time tomorrow, we will hopefully know the gender of our baby. And I'm so excited. Like, it hasn't really hit me over the past like week, but now it's tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my god, it's actually happening. So yeah, that is the little update for this week. I will put in, obviously I'm going to film everything because this vlog isn't going to go out until the end of the second trimester, so I can film me and Tom like finding out and the baby shower and everything like that. So yeah, fingers crossed we can find out tomorrow and we don't have to reschedule the appointment. It is 5:45 in the morning. I am 16 weeks and 4 days pregnant, and today is surgery day. I am very nervous. I did not sleep well at all last night. I know exactly what to expect. I know exactly what's going to happen, but it still doesn't make me any less nervous. So I can't eat anything after 6 a.m. So I've been advised to have a light breakfast. So I'm just going to have a yogurt. And then I can't drink anything. I can drink water up until 11 o'clock, and then I have to be at hospital for 11:30. So yeah, I'm nervous. Like, I'm just gonna steal one of these cups to have one of my tablets. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, but it's gotta be done at 6. So when it gets to 6 a.m. I have to take an omeprazole tablet. I took one at 10 o'clock last night, and I've got to take one in about 15 minutes, just in case I vomit during surgery. It reduces all the acid that's in my stomach, so it does reduce the risk of me vomiting during surgery. Yeah, Tom's still asleep. I think the plan is, once I've taken my tablet, I'm gonna try, it's a big try, and get some more sleep if I can, because otherwise I'm just gonna be sat here dwelling about everything for like 5 hours, and I don't really want to do that. I'm gonna try and get some more sleep while Tom gets up with Teddy. And then I need to have a shower, because it says that you need to be cleaned and showered before you're admitted. So I'm gonna do that, and yeah, we've asked Tom's mum and dad to get here for about 11 o'clock, just because yesterday I went to the hospital for my pre-op and it took me like 10 minutes to find a parking space. So yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be the same today, so we're going to need like a fair amount of time to find a parking space. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys in a few hours. So it is now the next day. It's the day after surgery, and I got home about an hour ago. I was only supposed to be in there for a day, so I was supposed to be discharged yesterday, but there was a couple of emergency C-sections that had to go before me, so I didn't end up having my surgery until about 3:15. I was meant to have it at about 12:30. So I had to be kept in overnight, because they have to wait until your spinal's worn off and you're walking and peeing properly. And by the time that wore off completely, it was about 10 o'clock at night, so there was literally no point in me going home. And I had a bladder catheter in, which was super uncomfortable. But I'm home now. I'm bleeding a fair bit. I'm in quite a significant amount of pain. It's not like excruciating, but it's uncomfortable enough to acknowledge that I'm in a lot of pain. So I'm having to take things super slow at the minute. because they said because they're doing it earlier than I had it done last time, like a full 6 weeks earlier, they're having to do it even tighter than normal because my cervix has more opportunity to shorten and open, so they've had to do it even tighter than they normally would. So yeah, it's all done. I'm bleeding a bit down below, so I've got to wear pads for a couple of days until that stops. Peeing really hurts, and I'm currently in my pyjamas because all I want is comfort for the rest of the day. I just had a shower as well. Haven't washed my hair or anything, but it was just nice to have a proper wash, and brush my teeth properly and everything like that. So my mum and dad should be arriving in a few hours, and then tonight I'm going to be very, very gingerly helping set up for the baby shower. So our friends Emma and Lauren are coming over. They're going to make some cookies for tomorrow, and they're going to help with all the balloons and everything and get that set up tonight. But I'm a bit worse for wear at the minute. I'm covered in, I don't know if you can see those, covered in bruises and blood pressure cuff marks. You can't really see them, but yeah, those are all from the blood pressure cuff. I've got a little bruise on my back from where they put the spinal in, but it actually went pretty smoothly compared to last time she got it in first time. So yeah, I'm just glad it's all done and I'm home. I've got to have another appointment in 2 or 3 weeks for another internal ultrasound, just to make sure that the stitch is in place still and it's doing its job, and then it can be considered a success, and then at 37 weeks I'll get it taken out. I might take my pregnancy pillow downstairs. I asked Tom because I'm not really allowed to lift anything right now, because I'm not allowed to put any strain on my cervix, and obviously lifting you have to use your legs when you're pregnant rather than your back. So I asked Tom to bring my pregnancy pillow down, and I might try and have a little sleep if I can, because I was being woken up by, well, it was about 10 o'clock when I'd got my catheter out, and then I had to walk around a few times. I then had to pee a certain amount, and everything like that, and then at about 2 o'clock in the morning I have my observations done, so like my temperature, my blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't sleep too well last night, so I'm going to see if I can have a little nap. So I will put some clips in for tomorrow, so I'm going to go downstairs and have a well-deserved nap, I think. So I am now 17 weeks and 1 day pregnant, and I am 4 days post surgery for my cervical stitch, and I'm still pretty sore, but me being super clever, I thought that I would be okay to go back to work today. Luckily I only work 2 days a week. I work Tuesdays and Saturdays, but going back today was not a good idea. I should have just taken today off, because I was in agony the entire time, and even that was even after taking paracetamol. So I think that was just my body's way of saying, like, no, this isn't a good thing to do. And I think I've also irritated it down below as well, because when I got back there was still a little bit of blood, which is normal, but it was just starting to die down and it's picked back up again. So luckily I've got the rest of the week off, but on Thursday I'm getting my bottom 2 wisdom teeth removed, which is gonna be great. But I've got 2 days off work for that, so I'm getting them taken out on the Thursday, and I've booked the Saturday and the Tuesday off. So that should give me a bit more time to heal from my cervical stitch as well. But we had our baby shower and our gender reveal, revealing to everyone we're having another boy. And we told them his name as well, but I'll reveal that on the channel a little bit later. And it was just super nice. Like, most of our friends and our family were there, and it was just so nice just celebrating with everyone. And it was also my birthday, the day we had the baby shower as well. So I got spoiled and got lots of gifts, and I'm feeling very, very grateful. So yeah, I'm now feeling, I just feel so tired because I think it's all caught up with me, you know, having the surgery, my mum and dad being here. It's just all caught up with me. Going to work today is all caught up with me. And my parents left this morning when I left for work, so I feel a bit sad about that because I'm not going to see them until September now, which seems like an age away. So yeah, I'm just allowing myself to feel all these emotions because I know my hormones definitely aren't helping. But yeah, I've just had a shower just to kind of ease the pain in. It's in like my lower belly, which I know is where they put the stitch in my cervix. So I've just had a warm shower and I took the shower out of its holder and just ran it across the bottom of my belly, and that gave me a bit of relief. And I'm gonna have some more paracetamol now, I think, just because it's starting to hurt a bit more. But yeah, I'm not going to do much for the next couple of days. I've got to sort through my birthday presents and everything like that, and I really, really want to start nesting and just gut this room out because there's just so much stuff everywhere. And what we're going to do as well is eventually little man is going to go in the room where Tom's studio is. So Tom's studio is going to be brought into here, so little man can have his own bedroom. So we're going to have to shimmy the entire layout of this bedroom around. We're just going to have to see what works. And I kind of want to paint it as well. We've had this same magnolia colour since we moved in because we rent, but we've lived here for ages now. Theodore's room's painted, and I just really am sick to death of magnolia. Even if we just go like a light grey, it's better than magnolia. So we've got a lot of plans in place for what we want to do, but I just want to start cleaning. But I am not going to exert myself because that's just my body's way of saying that I need to calm the hell down. So yeah, I'm going to chill out for the rest of this afternoon because I have to go and get Tom from work and Ted from nursery. Yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a few days because I am so tired. So I am now 17 weeks and 3 days pregnant. And I have my wisdom teeth out today, and I am in a lot of pain. Not as bad as I was earlier because I've had some paracetamol and the swelling started to go down a bit because I used a cold eye mask around my chin, kind of like a chin strap to kind of keep everything compressed. It was all fine. I am just in a lot of pain. I've just managed to have a bowl of soup, but that's the first thing I've eaten. I'll tell a lie, I had a bowl of ice cream at about 12. No, about 2 actually. When I woke up from a nap at about 2, and I was in so much pain. Like, it was actually unbelievable how much pain I was in. So I've just managed some soup. I did make myself some scrambled eggs, but I just couldn't eat it because I was so paranoid about like food getting in the extraction sites. They've been stitched up. That's still something I'm a bit paranoid about. I am definitely not going to do this again because it's done now. The dentist said that my top teeth look absolutely fine, so unless they start causing me immense amounts of pain like the bottom ones have, to just leave them. So I will be doing that. I am planning on just leaving those 2 in, and hopefully these will be healed in about a week. I've got more than a week off work, so yeah, I'm just gonna try and rest up for the next couple of days. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a couple of days and hopefully I'm feeling a bit less swollen. So I am now 18 weeks and 1 day with baby boy, And my teeth are starting to feel a bit better. They're still a bit sore. I've been taking some of this stuff, which is the dissolvable Panadol, because it only has paracetamol in it. I can't have like sulfadine or anything like that because it's got caffeine and ibuprofen in it. So I can't have that, but I'm starting to get back into my normal diet. It's hard because I have to take like really tiny bites, but I'm getting there. Yeah, my teeth are starting to feel a bit better. I do still have a weird taste in my mouth. I don't know if I'm getting dry socket or anything like that, but we're just gonna have to see. The pain is getting better, but it's gonna take a while because it wasn't a very complex removal, but this one came out in one piece and like it took a little bit, but it came out, whereas this one they really struggled to get it out and the tooth had to be broken up into pieces. So that's why I'm a bit swollen on this side. I've got like feels like a little welt almost, but I think it's like the inflamed nerve because your nerve runs right down here, right to where my wisdom tooth was, because it was still in my jawbone and I had to go into the bone to get it out. So I think this one's going to be a bit more sore for longer than expected. But I've just been to Sainsbury's because I've made a start, an early start I know, but I've made a start on packing little bits here and there for my hospital bag. I've got some cotton like squares for baby in case he gets like a gunky eye or anything like that. And I've packed I've got two, not boxes, but 2 lots of the maternity towels. So I picked up one of these MAM bottles. I've heard really good things about them. Teddy always had Tommy Tippy bottles, but I do think he had a tongue tie because we had so much trouble with breastfeeding and I just couldn't do it in the end because it was so painful. And every time he would have a bottle, it didn't matter what like teat size we put him on, it would always just dribble out and it was an excessive amount. But we got through it. He's a happy, healthy, almost 3-year-old. But I'm gonna try baby with one of these if he doesn't get on with the Tommy Tippy, because I think I've heard somewhere that MAM self-sterilize if you put them in the microwave, and it means you don't need to use a sterilizer. I still probably will just to be on the safe side, but yeah, this was £9 though for one bottle, which I think is quite expensive, but we'll see how he gets on with it and then we'll just have to see. So yeah, packing of hospital bag is already underway. I've picked out some of baby's outfits that I'm going to put in there as well because we've already got everything pretty much. Like the only things we really need to get is like postpartum essentials, which I've already made a start on because I've got some stuff from Boots as well, which is in one of my other videos I think. I got like a perennial bottle and some like pad liners with like witch hazel in and stuff. But yeah, it's already happening, and then we've got our 20-week scan in a couple of weeks, but Tom is away on a work trip, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, that is my little update for 18 weeks. I can't believe we're almost halfway. I feel almost halfway, like I feel humongous. I think I was about 22 weeks, maybe a bit less when I got to this size with Theodore, but I know that everything grows quicker the second time round, so I'm making the most of it and I am really enjoying having this little bump because it's not humongous yet. So yeah, I will catch up with you guys in a few days. Well, actually I'll let you guys know how my follow-up goes tomorrow at the hospital because we're going to see if my stitch was successful. I'm really hoping it is because I can't feel any pain down there or anything, so keep your fingers crossed and I'll update you tomorrow. So I am now 19 weeks pregnant. You can't really see my belly, but I've definitely popped Um, it's halfway next week. I can't believe how fast this pregnancy is going. It's just so scary. Like, it seems like yesterday I was stood in this spot taking a pregnancy test, and now I'm nearly halfway there. It's just absolutely crazy. But I said last week that I would update in a couple of days, and it's ended up being like a week. So sorry, but my teeth have been a bit sore, and it got more aggravated when I talk. So I just left it for a little bit. I'm feeling much better now. This side, which was the more complicated side, still has like an awkward stitch in it, and it keeps like rubbing against my gum. But hopefully it'll dissolve soon. But other than that, I can eat properly now. I'm still not drinking through straws or anything like that. But other than that, it's pretty much back to normal. But I just can't believe I'm 19 weeks. I'm now at that point where I'm getting up every few hours to pee in the night, so I'm losing a fair amount of sleep. So I'm pretty tired this morning. Yeah, I'm pretty tired, but I've started feeling him kick, and it is the most amazing thing. And 2 days ago, Tom actually felt him kick, which is so much earlier than when he felt Teddy kick. I think I was over 20 weeks for definite. And I wasn't expecting it because I have an anterior placenta again. I had an anterior placenta with Teddy. Yeah, I'm super, super excited. There's so many different things going on. But yeah, I can't believe it's halfway point next week. I'm just still trying to get over it. Guys, we're halfway there. How quickly did that come around? That came around so fast. And it's kind of scary that he's going to be here in 20 to 22 weeks, maybe even less. Teddy was 3 days early, but I have a feeling that this one is going to want to stay in here a little bit longer. Yeah, we're halfway there, and it's just baffling me. We've got his car seat sorted. We just need to get the base. We're getting that September time, I think. But yeah, it's just so crazy. And just in the last couple of days, like, I'm starting to feel a lot more symptoms. Like, he has been moving around so much. He is a proper little night owl. Like, I'm about to lay down and start getting ready for bed, and he just starts kicking me. I've started getting like spasms in like the tops of my thighs as well. And I've noticed a couple of varicose veins. I never got varicose veins with Teddy. Um, but it's all different this time around. But it's just, I'm trying to make the most of it because it's going to be the last time we do it, I think. And I'm just really trying to make the most of it. But today is Tuesday, so I'm 20 weeks and 1 day pregnant. And then on Friday, I have got my 20-week anatomy scan. I think that's what it's called, the anatomy scan. Yeah, fetal anatomy scan. It was originally meant to be tomorrow, but they sent me a letter to reschedule it. So it's now on Friday, but Tom can come with me, which is super nice. And I also need to get my whooping cough. I don't know how to say it. I've got to get my jab as well, but I might ask to go in next week because I do not react well to jabs. I always get like a really high fever, muscle aches, that kind of thing. So I'm probably just going to ask if I can go in like next, like Tuesday after work, and then when Teddy's at nursery on Wednesday, I can just lay in bed all day if I have to. But yeah, I can't believe I'm 20 weeks. It's just absolutely crazy to me. We're already making a start on Christmas. Just because like money is going to be so tight this year, and we're trying to get presents here and presents there. And because we're not seeing my parents for Christmas, we usually go up and spend Christmas with my family. But because he could be here at any point during December or end of November, we've decided we're going to stay here. So we're exchanging Christmas presents in October, which gives us 2 months less than normal. So I am stressing out, but I'm trying not to panic. So yeah, that is my little update for 20 weeks. I'll pop a little clip in of the scan. Obviously I can't film the actual scan, but I'll pop like me seeing the picture and everything like that in there. So yeah, I'm actually so excited for the scan. I can't wait to see him. So I am now 21 weeks pregnant, fully popping. It is chucking it down outside, which is why I've got a jumper on. But I'm trying not to update as much because I checked the footage the other day and we're almost at an hour. So I don't want to put too much more in there because I've still got 7 weeks to go until the second trimester. So the updates are going to be few and far between now. That's okay. But the 20-week scan, he was very, very wriggly and being very, very awkward. So they couldn't get some measurements that they needed. So I've got to go back next week. I'm actually going to the hospital tomorrow as well to see my consultant. I've got 2 more appointments with my consultant to check that the cervical stitch is still in the right place and doing what it's supposed to. So I'm seeing him tomorrow, and then next week I'm going back for a rescan, and hopefully next time round they get all the measurements that they need. They got most of them, but they still need to look at his heart, his brain, and they need to check for cleft lip and palate as well, because this little guy had his foot right up by his face. So yeah, he was being very, very fidgety, but that's all right because I get to see him again. Also, another thing is I've started washing baby clothes. You're probably thinking, Amy, you're only 21 weeks, why are you washing baby clothes? So these are actually all for my hospital bag. I thought I would just get them washed now, and then they're ready, they're okay. I may need to give them just one more wash before I go into labour. But yeah, it makes me sad that this is the last time I'll be washing like baby clothes in preparation. But like, look at how tiny these are. It's just like, that's gonna fit in there. Like at the minute he's like 26 centimeters, I think. But how's that gonna fit in there? It's so small. But yeah, this is all just for my hospital bag because I'd rather just have everything in there and ready. Just because there is a chance that once they take this stitch out, he could come pretty soon after. So I just want, it's just for my peace of mind, just to make sure that everything's ready and prepped. And I also got my forms for maternity allowance in the post today as well. So if you're not from the UK, you can get maternity pay, which is where your employer pays you while you're off on maternity leave with your baby. Or if you don't earn enough, you can earn maternity allowance, which is where the government pays you for the first 9 months of your maternity leave, and then the last 3 months are unpaid, which is the bracket that I fall under because I only work for 3 and a bit hours 2 days a week, so I don't earn enough to qualify for maternity pay. So I've still got a couple of forms that I need to get. My boss needs to fill out a form to say that she can't pay me maternity pay, and then my midwife also needs to give me a form as well, basically proving that I'm having a baby and it's due on this date in December. So yeah, that is what I need to do. And then I can send it off from like mid-September, but I'm going to wait until I've got my pay slip for September, print that off, put it in there, all in a little bundle, send it off it'll be fine. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot going on at the minute, so I'm trying to be prepared as prepared as I possibly can, because he's going to be born end of November, start of December time. So anyway, so I get my cervical stitch out on the 20th of November or around that date. So we could be here from the 20th of November all the way up to like Christmas Eve. So it's quite a big jump, but I am gonna ask my midwife, if I need to be, can I be induced at 41 weeks rather than waiting until 42? Because I don't want to be in hospital on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and Boxing Day. You know, I want to spend it with my family and with my newborn at home. So that is my current plan. So we are prepping for Christmas already. We only have a few more Christmas presents to get for Theodore. Me and Tom are going very minimal with each other this year. We're going for like 3 presents to each other and 1 from the kids, and then a few stocking fillers, and that is about it. And then my mum and dad have already told me what they want, so I've made a start on that. And Tom's family, I'm probably just going to bake stuff for them, rather than like either make stuff or, you know, get a big sharing box of chocolates. And then for the kids in the family, so our nieces and nephews, we get presents for them instead. So it's all go, and it's very, very busy. So yeah, that is my little update. I'll let you know how it goes next week at the rescan. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these updates few and far between now, because I don't want this video dragging on for ages and ages and everyone getting bored. So yeah, I will catch up with you guys a bit later. So it's actually the next day. I went to see my consultant and he asked how everything was going, and he asked how the 20-week scan went, and I said that little man was being a bit stubborn and he wasn't getting in the right positions for some of the measurements. So he looked at all the measurements that still needed doing, and he said, I'll do it now for you, and then you'd have to come back next week. So that was just so nice. Like, my consultant has gone above and beyond for me and given me the most immense amount of support, and it was so nice for him just to say, it'll take me a few minutes, just let me do it now for you. Sorry, there was just something on my windowsill. And everything looks absolutely great, because I needed an ultrasound anyways to check on how my cervical stitch is doing, which is doing great. I've actually gained length in my cervix since having it put in, so I've got to have one more check in a couple of weeks. So what's today? The 3rd. So in 2 weeks. I'm having my last cervical length scan, and then after that I am discharged from consultant-led care, which is a bit scary. I'm not sure if I'm still giving birth on a consultant ward or if I'm able to give birth in a birthing centre. I mean, they both have their pros and their cons, so I think me and Tom are going to have a chat about it. If the midwife says you may as well just stay under consultant-led care, then that's fine by me. I don't really mind. I was consultant-led care with Teddy, so I know what to expect. But he did the ultrasound. I got to see him in 4D, and he gave me a picture, and look at that little face. It kind of looks a bit squashed at the minute, but those are his eyes, there's his little nose, and there's his mouth. I can see a lot of Teddy in him. I think they are going to be very, very similar to each other, but it was just crazy to see. And the consultant did all the measurements, checked his heart very thoroughly, because my mum has a pacemaker and my granddad has had a history of heart attacks, so we've got to make sure that there's nothing genetic that will pass on to little dude here. So they did a bit more of an in-depth look at his heart. He was looking at it for quite a long time, but he said it all looks great. Sorry, I've got a really tickly cough and it's making my eyes water. He said that all the chambers were in the right place and doing what they should, all the ventricles were doing what they needed to. So yeah, the goal now is to get to my next appointment, and then after that it will be 24 weeks. That is my goal in my head, because that's viability. That means that if this guy is born early, if he's born at 24 weeks, he has a much higher chance of survival. I know babies have been born earlier, but a lot of the time they do pass away shortly after birth because their lungs just aren't developed enough. So 24 weeks is the next goal for me, and I'm just so happy with this picture. I think it's just so cute. We are going to do one more 4D scan. We're going to do that privately because this was my last NHS scan. So yeah, I'm going to book one more private scan. I'm probably going to do that about 30 weeks because then hopefully we'll be able to see him much clearer, but it won't be at the point where he's so squashed that we just can't see anything at all. We may do it a bit earlier depending on like finances, because it's not cheap. It's like £90 for a 4D scan. But the place where we've gone for all of our private scans, they've been great, so it is worth the money. But yeah, that's my little update. And little baby, oh, he's so small. So yeah, I will update you guys probably in a couple of weeks because this video is going to be quite long, so I'll update you guys in a couple of weeks. So I am now 23 weeks pregnant, really starting to pop now. But I thought I would give you guys just a little update. I had a consultant appointment today, and I have been discharged from consultant-led care, which is absolutely crazy. So he has checked my stitch, everything is all good. My cervix has actually gained 6mm since having it put in. So it was at 30mm before they put the stitch in, and it's now at 36 today. So there is plenty of length, and my risk of preterm labour in the next 4 weeks is less than 1%. And then the risk of giving birth before 34 weeks is less than 10%. It's like 7.4 I think. And my risk for before 37 weeks is 7.7%, but that is like the standard general population risk factor for preterm labour before 37 weeks. So yeah, I don't have to see the consultant anymore, which is really bittersweet. He said he was super happy with how everything has turned out. So I've got to have one more appointment at 36 weeks, and that is to make the appointment for 37 weeks to get the stitch taken out, and then after that it is all up to little man when he wants to arrive. And I am now considering giving birth in a birthing centre and not on a consultant ward, and I'm kind of prepping myself mentally that I'm going to try and get through this labour and this birth without an epidural, being a lot more present, and you know, I'm like looking at hypnobirthing and things like that, and renting out a TENS machine and stuff like that. So there's a lot to think about, but I thought I would give you guys a little update, and then in a few days I will be 24 weeks and we will hit viability, which means that if he does decide he wants to come early or my waters break, his lungs are definitely they're not mature, but they're mature enough that if he comes early, then a ventilator and breathing tubes will be able to help him a lot more than if he was born, say, 4 weeks ago. So yeah, that is my little update. I'm so happy, I feel so relieved, and yeah, not long until we're at the 3rd trimester, only a few more weeks to go, and kind of scary but I'm making the most of every little moment, and it's going by super fast, so I'm making the most of it. I am now 28 weeks pregnant, and that means that that is the end of the second trimester. I'm in the third and final trimester. I'm sorry if you can hear cars outside, it's just really, really hot in here. So I've had to open some windows, but we have got 13 weeks maximum until we meet our second baby boy, and that is just absolutely crazy to me. Like, oh my god, I'm so overwhelmed and excited and scared and nervous. I've got so many emotions going on right now, and I am feeling a bit emotional because Teddy turned 3 a couple of days ago, and we had his party yesterday, and it just kind of hit me that that is the last birthday he's gonna have as an only child, and next year he's gonna have a 9-month-old little brother, which is just like, it makes me really emotional because he has been acting up quite a lot. Like, his emotions have been all over the place. He's been hitting, he's been kicking, he's been having tantrums, and I know that's normal for a 3-year-old, but it's hard, and it's going to get harder once his brother arrives. But I'm just trying to take it in my stride and take things around me in my stride. Like, lots of things outside the pregnancy are happening. Like, I feel like friendship dynamics are changing, and not necessarily in the way I'd like. And I have felt quite lonely this pregnancy, and which is strange because when I was pregnant with Theodore, we were in the middle of a national lockdown, a worldwide lockdown pretty much, and I feel lonelier now than I did back then because, I don't know, it's just a really strange feeling. I think it's because we're the first kind of couple in our friend group to have children, like get married and have children. So it's hard to find people to relate to, and I'm quite an anxious person. I'm quite an anxious person by nature, so I do struggle to make friends. But I'm sure the right people will come along eventually, and I'll find my little village. And I'm really lucky that even though my parents live so far away, they are so supportive. They help out where they can. Tom's parents are absolute diamonds, and they help out where they can. And yeah, all the emotions are just hitting me all at once. But that is going to be the end of the second trimester vlog. I will show you the bump very quickly. So this is how we are looking at 28 weeks. Definitely popping now. There is no denying that I am pregnant now. I mean, I've had some customers at work like not notice until I've told them, which I think is very, very strange. But yeah, this is how little baby boy is looking at 28 weeks, and I am now about to start filming my third trimester vlog because I'm about to go for my diabetes test at the hospital, so wish me luck with that. But I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's been such a long video. I think it's been like over an hour, but a lot happens in the second trimester and a lot will happen in the third, so please subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more from me, and I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.